Well, thank you very much for each and every one of you for coming today to our residence and sharing this table with us. It's an unusual breakfast invitation, but I hope you won't regret all the attendance. So the idea about Turkish breakfast, actually, this is the Turkish breakfast day in our country. It's like a Ministry of Culture is promoting this. Turkiye is one of the top 5 tourist destinations in the world today. We have more than 50 million, 52, 53, something like that, million tourists every year. And the numbers are set to increase for a long time to come because most of the country is still untapped in terms of tourism potential. Anyway, so there are lots of aspects to the Turkish tourism. There is the sea, beach aspect, there is the history aspect, there is the religious tours for Christians and Muslims, there is the different places of significance around the country. There is the nature, trekking aspect. There are combinations of these, but of course, one of the great attraction points of our country is the food.
Yeah.
So last week we had the Turkish food week, cuisine week, which was an idea by our first lady. She has a cookbook of her own. She compiled and added actually to recipes around the country. So we organized with the cooperation of the Peninsula Hotel. But then there is also this breakfast day. It's not the whole week, breakfast day. So the Turkish breakfast is very different from, as you probably had a glimpse by now, different from the breakfast culture around the world. In most countries, breakfast is not much different from lunch or dinner. It could be heavier, lighter, depending on the country. But you have a meal, like you have lunch. You have rice, you have meat, you have, everything. But in Turkey, we have a very different breakfast culture. It is more on the Mediterranean side. Our cuisine has been influenced and influenced in return many different cuisines, but a little bit on the Mediterranean side. So what happens is that we have lighter ingredients than a proper meal, but we have a lot of variety. Of course, not every family every day has it like this. This is a little bit on the accentuated part. We have highlighted, enriched the menu there. But the staples are cheese. So there are white cheese and the Cheddar cheese, varieties of it. We have hundreds of different types of white and Cheddar cheese in Turkey. Eggs in different forms, hard-boiled, sunny side up, or scrambled, depending on the family's preference or the regions. There is tomatoes, cucumbers, olives. Yes, olives are a very important part. I think we're the only few. I've heard a few countries, perhaps Lebanon also, but very few countries in the world that we have olives for breakfast.
Greece.
Yeah, well, I've lived in Greece. We have a lot of, friendly competition about who owns this and that. But I
heard the habit started after you were there.
But I can tell they don't have olives for breakfast. That's not something that we, have discussions
I think we should have representation here. They might argue that.
Well, yeah, just check it with your friends. That's fine. So, but the thing about the olives is that this is different from your olives on your pizza or in your martini. This is a different texture differences, taste differences. Of course, we cannot replicate all of that, but we have olives, green and black also. Both are okay. Some families mix it. Some only have olives, but they like black, they like green, whatever. But Olives are an important part, so I hope you give it a try. In terms of meat, there we have here sausages, but we could not find in Manila a few items. We have here.
The replacement of sujuk.
Yes,
The
but there is this Turkish sausage which we couldn't unfortunately find here. It's not called Turkish sausage, it's called sujuk. It's kind of spicier, on the slightly spicier side. Very popular in Turkey. If you ever go and have breakfast in your hotel, you can see that around. And we also have pastırma, which is another pressed kind of process.
Similar like brisala.
Yeah, similar.
Like brisala.
But again, you have
It's
to eat
different
it
things.
to know what it is. But anyway, we could not replicate it. But they are often included in the menu. And what else? Well, we have here some
This one is the, how do you call it? The spread.
yeah
Spread or the dip.
dip
Yes.
for tomato, I think.
Yeah, there's the pepper, the green pepper, red pepper, and then tomato paste, fresh tomato.
Yeah.
And then you
And
grind
also
it together,
walnuts.
and then with
So
walnuts.
these are of course some regional varieties now. So in every region we have a separate cuisine, so to speak. So giving a few examples of that. And for the sweet side, it's also a very important part of Turkish breakfast. You have to have something sweet. Usually it's honey or jam with butter. Sometimes people are okay to be on the healthy side, well, they omit butter, but now doctors are recommending butter. Now, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, let's count it among the ingredients. Butter, honey, and jam. We have hundreds, maybe thousands of different types of honey and jams. So that's also included. And of course, lastly, before keeping you waiting more, bread. Bread is the staple food in Turkey. It's like rice in Asia. We grow rice, by the way. We have abundant rice, but we grow wheat even more. So historically, wheat has been the primary source of nutrition in our region, so to speak. And bread is a must-have in all Turkish meals: breakfast, lunch, dinner. And of course, different types of bread and so on. So we must have that. And if you ever go to Turkey, or maybe you have, I don't know, there's this ring-shaped pastry called simit. It is dipped in sesame. It's covered in sesame, and the consistency is like a French baguette, perhaps. So bagel, perhaps. So we, of course, we couldn't find it, but our chef had a very good approximation. Very good approximation. I will call him in later on to show the man of the hour to you also. And here we have called poğaça. This is also a buns, so to speak. These are, yes, also common in breakfasts. Family breakfasts sometimes don't include this, just bread or maybe simit, but it's like that. So, and there is of course börek. This is also, some regions must have this, some regions omit it, but it's part of the Turkish breakfast cuisine as well, tradition as well. Yes, so this is a scrambled egg kind of thing called menemen, very popular among people. It has green peppers, it has tomatoes, some onions, eggs of course. So how to go through with this is, we recommend, you can do anything, there's no protocol, whatever, if you like anything, just go ahead with it. But usually start with the saltier part of the table, with börek, with olives, cheese, with tomatoes and cucumbers, with any kind of egg that you want, with börek and with breads, and then move on to the sweets. So that's you can see that. And if you ever go to Turkey, I would strongly recommend you to ask if you have a organizer, we can look up before you go, to look for a breakfast place. Some pastries, cafes offer exclusive breakfast menus, brunch time, and it's even richer than this. They bring like, they say, I said just one guy. What's
Breakfast is really an event.
It's
It's
an
really
event.
something.
So yeah, and of course you see here by the door there, tea, Turkish tea is a must. It must be there. I mean, yeah, I mean you can be a coffee guy, you can have your coffee too, but then the Turkish breakfast, 99% of the time it will be the tea, and it is not, tea bag tea. It has to be brewed, and it is grown in Turkey actually. We grow our own tea. There is a small area with a microclimate. It's 3 months a year can grow tea. It's kind of temporarily tropical. This is for 3 months. So the whole country runs on this tea. Every office has a person responsible for
Tea guy.
tea guy.
Yeah.
His name is tea guy. Public or private, there is that guy. He makes Turkish coffee, Turkish tea.
I've heard more about Turkish coffee than Turkish tea.
Turkish coffee, of course. But now in the breakfast, it's tea is king, not the coffee. The Turkish coffee is king after lunches, to kick you back up.
Yeah,
You're
maybe
doing
I can
to
add
do
it
it.
kahvaltı. The word for breakfast is kahvaltı.
Before.
So before coffee, kahve
Ah.
altı.
Yeah.
So before coffee. So
Because-
you enjoy this breakfast before your coffee.
Before your
Oh.
coffee, not with. Because Turkish coffee is strong,
Yes.
and eating all of this, you take a few sips and it's finished.
Yes.
So you
yes.
need a refreshment. But then if you have like 3-4 refills, let's say, while going through your breakfast, you'll be wound for the day. So it's really not a good idea. You can have your pleasure afterwards. Some people do that.
Do you take your tea with sugar, cream?
Up to you.
Up to you.
Some people love it like it has to be like a syrup. They put like a lot of sugar in it. Some people hate the taste of sugar and they stay away from it. I usually have it without sugar. You can feel the taste of the tea. It's a Turkish. This is original actually. We brought it from Turkiye. This is Turkish tea from Turkish grown tea. So yeah, basically that's it. And without further ado, welcome and enjoy.
So we say it afiyet olsun.
Afiyet olsun. This is a long
We have
word.
a-
It's a
Afiyet
bon
olsun.
appetit.
Bon appetit.
Maybe we can have a group photo before.
Ah,